Hello, Jack.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Can you see it okay?
We can see your presentation. Yes, we are starting the clock.
Wonderful.
And you can
I'm very aware that I'm probably right between you and a well-deserved beer or dinner. So I'll try to make this as painless as possible. So I'll spend the next 2 or so minutes telling you a little bit about Jobflow. So when we say reinventing recruitment, what do we mean and why do we want to do it? And the whole idea stems from the fact that if you look at the typical job boards, they have not changed in over 100 years. So back in the day, you used to post something on a wall, wait for somebody to find it, and get in touch with you. That's exactly what happens now through most all of the job boards that are available on the market. So we thought to ourselves, how would we do this different, given what we know, given how we understand users actually use technology? So we looked at the market as a whole, particularly for our target, which is 16 to 26-year-olds. So we're talking about people that don't typically have too much experience, that don't necessarily have a need for a CV, but people that want to work in, be it in hospitality, be it in service industry, be it in the local bar. So what technology are the 16 to 26-year-olds actually using? So they're using real-time feeds, they're using instant messaging, they're using visual profiles and visual medium, they're using mobile first solutions. So what we've done is we've gone through all of these services, taken the best elements of all of these services and combined them into a modern modular solution. And that is Jobflow. So what have we done so far? So we've started in Warsaw as a proof of concept. We've gone to market. We have about 3,000 or so users active on the platform, matching every single day. We have a cross-functional team that is dedicated to the project and have a lot of different varying skill sets in terms of strategy, development, backend, iOS, Android, and all the rest. And now we're thinking about the future. And the future, because we've now built the foundation, we are able to explore what we can do with it. So the real-time feed allows us to do things that typical job boards can't do. So if an applicant wants to find a job, they'll see it appear instantaneously in their feed, able to apply with a tap, start the chat right away. It shortens what used to take, days to something that now takes minutes. So we're looking at different opportunities now in terms of creating additional value in the feed to improve retention, reducing overhead through automation and AI, and looking for strategic partnerships. So we're not only developing something that is financially beneficial to us, but also something that does social good. So we're looking at NGOs and identifying programs that also support our target market. And in terms of how we will monetize, it's subscription-based, in-feed content and advertising, and white label platforms and partnerships with industries that are outside of recruitment. And so the next step, that's entirely up to you. Hopefully we will find a partner that will help us grow strategically, as well as advise us in terms of scaling up faster. Thank you for your attention.
Great, thank you, Jack. Yeah, we can move straight to the questions. Are there any from our judges?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Tariq.
So Jack, can you help me understand a bit more what the value add of Jobflow is compared to other job boards? Do you do any matching in the background? Are there any algorithms that help identify certain jobs for certain candidates or not?
So because we're a mobile first solution, it does allow us to do a couple of things that typical job boards can't do, right? So there's inevitably the localization bit that allows us to identify candidates in a particular area. We're tag-based. So much like Twitter, we can add dynamic tags to help you find the right job that you have. And in time, of course, we'll be looking at machine learning, artificial intelligence to further tailor what you see in the feed to individual candidates.
And is there a specific reason that you've gone after your segment of 16 to 26-year-olds? Is there any research that backs this decision?
Yes, so there's a couple of reasons. One is LinkedIn, for the experienced people, is very well known, and we don't necessarily want to go after the LinkedIn target. But the average age of the LinkedIn user is around 40 years old. That's quite an old market and a demographic. And mind you, I'm unfortunately in that group as well. Now, that being said, if you look at the 16 to 26-year-olds, they don't have an equivalent platform for which to find jobs, nor is there a go-to platform for people seeking somebody for my bar, for my restaurant, for my what have you. So that's, I think, where we see the opportunity.
Still have 2 minutes. Are there any questions? Any
Okay.
other questions?
In terms
Okay,
of monetization, when do you think you will start charging for the app? And
Well, it's partially dependent on the development bit. We hope to have the automation bit set up as early as next year. In terms of the white label revenue, and again, we want to do two things. One is to have recurring revenue in terms of subscription and the sort of predictability that that affords and the automation that that affords, lowering the overheads. On the flip side, we are looking at partnership opportunities, for example, an entirely different sector. We've built a two-sided marketplace that's quite robust. So now, for example, we're having conversations with a golf retailer that has a bunch of the market in terms of new goods, but this allows them to extend their brand to used and used golf equipment.
very interesting.
Who's paying for it? Am I paying for it as a user, or are the people that are posting the jobs ultimately the ones paying for it? And how are you taking cuts, or is your revenue model purely subscription based?
So it's not purely subscription based in the way that because we're offering a real-time feed that's tailored, we know our audience. So in terms of offering in-feed advertising and sort of content relationships, that's available. But at the baseline, we're taking inspiration from what's already out there. Again, we don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel. It's that we're taking the best elements of other platforms, applying them to recruitment. So if you look at Tinder, as an example, there's a flat rate that allows you to then super like people and do all these different things. We're taking that and adapting it to the recruitment space. So as a candidate, I can pay a subscription fee to differentiate myself from other people applying through the platform. As a person posting jobs, I can also get the benefits of a featured post every time I post. 13 seconds left.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure there's time for any other questions, but I'd like to thank you, Jack, for your presentation.
Cool. Appreciate your time.
Last
Have a good
presentation.
afternoon.